This is the Nightshade Cult, a podcast macabre.
We bid you welcome. Enter freely and of your own will.
I'm Nick Grimm.
And I'm David Graves.
And we'll be your horror hosts for this dissection of Terence Fisher's 1959 supernatural horror, The Mummy.
Good evening.
So, we're back with another episode, it's another Mummy, but it's not a remake of the last Mummy, it's more like a remake of all of the Universal Mummy movies in a blender. Like, they took plot points from mostly from two of them, but a little bit from all of them, and amalgamized a mummy plot.
Yeah, it's interesting because Hammer, this is a British version, and so you have these great actors like Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee and whatnot, and this movie, like the first thing that just struck me when I started watching it, because I'd never seen this, but I'm a fan of Hammer in general. Hammer Dracula, really good.
Yeah.
This movie pops. I was like, is this like some crazy Technicolor remaster? No, this is what it was.
Yeah.
This was the poppinest movie in its day.
Yeah. And this one, last time I corrected you that Curse of Frankenstein was not Technicolor. Yeah. It was Eastman color.
And this is
Technicolor, and it says it on the poster, big letter, now in Technicolor.
Yeah, and so I thought that was really immediately striking, and it's, I mean, it's overcorrected color. It's brighter than real life.
Yeah, and that's something, that sort of hyper realism or oversaturation is something I just associate with Hammer films. And it's this aesthetic that I'm just getting more and more fond of.
Okay, I don't hate it, but it's a real vibe. All of it's on its own, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie was made for $125,000, which is a very modest budget. In the modern day, that'd be a little more than $2.5 million.
Oh wow! So that's still but
it's a low budget movie.
It's a big increase though over Frankenstein and Dracula.
Yeah, although this movie, it was very profitable in Britain and France and whatnot. It was not as profitable as Dracula.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, vampires are more popular than mummies when it comes to just the cultural zeitgeist.
And you can see Christopher Lee's pretty face as opposed to in this one where he's just mired under makeup and sludge.
Yeah, but you do get some good old Christopher Lee in a headdress doing some flashbacks. Yeah, so, some, little
culturally insensitive brown face going on.
Yeah, it looks like he was airbrushed darker than he is.
He got a nice spray tan.
Yeah.
to play Karis in his ancient Egyptian form.
Absolutely.
Not something we would do today, but it was very much commonplace, and it's not. I mean, Christopher Lee, I think, played Fu Manchu as well. So there's a few of these sort of problematic race-bending roles that he's played before.
It feels like everything up to and sometimes including the 80s was like hyper insensitive in that regard.
Yeah, even in the 90s.
Honestly, the 90s wasn't great. It was getting better. It was on the rise, but it was. So I just took it for what it was, and that didn't bother me because I'm just like, okay, this is a product at the time.
Just what they do. Yeah,
yeah. We're looking at this through a historical lens, not a modern masterpiece or whatever.
Yeah, and so crucially, something big changed with this movie as opposed to the earlier Dracula and Frankenstein is that Universal made the big decision, if you can't beat them, join them, and went into partnership with Hammer. You fought them on Frankenstein, or at least threatened to. They ended up doing the U.S. distribution for Horror of Dracula, and then by the time we get to The Mummy, they're in a full-on partnership, and they just opened the Universal library, and they're like, do whatever you want with our back catalog of monsters.
Yeah, we get money, you do work.
Yeah, and that's sort of, it's the Sony Spider-Man thing where they produce, let Marvel produce those movies for them. Universal is not doing anything with these monsters, so let Hammer do it, and we get a piece of that profit.
Yeah, doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I think that like these are timeless properties. These are timeless ideas. I think there's a reason why we have remake after remake. Every decade has a new remake, it seems.
Yeah, for sure.
And I generally like most of them. So that's fine. Let it flow.
The Mummy has had just surprising legs as a property to revamp and relaunch over and over again.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not based on a book. That's the thing. So you get a lot of freestyle interpretation. Really, you can just do any sort of pseudo-Egyptian mythology nonsense and call it The Mummy. It doesn't have like underpinnings like Dracula and Frankenstein in classic literature. And so that gives movie makers just carte blanche to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like the Scorpion King? Come on.
Yeah, the Scorpion King, that's a total left field spinoff just because they're like, I think this The Rock is going somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's build a whole franchise around him. And that is tangentially Mummy related.
Yeah, I think it's Mummy related, and I think this is interesting, and I think it's I don't know. The thing that kind of struck me was it has the same name as the 1932 movie. It is The Mummy. Yeah. So I thought it was going to be a Mummy remake. Yeah. I really thought, okay, this is the 30 some odd years later, or almost 30 years later, version, and we're gonna get it's gonna be better. Yeah. Because we're going to get Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, and it's just going to be dope.
Yeah.
And then it was not the same movie.
Yeah.
It's very different.
It's quite a bit different. So the ones that it most strongly draws from are The Mummy's Hand and The Mummy's Tomb. Mm-hmm. And then the climax with the swamp and the mummy taking Isabel into the swamp is lifted from The Mummy's Ghost.
Yeah.
So it's
I haven't seen any of those though.
Neither have I. Those are all
40s, right?
Yeah, those are all from the 1940s. And there's a couple minor plot elements from the 32 film, but it's mostly pulling from those three later ones because it's not Imhotep in this movie, it's Karis, he's the mummy from the later movies that stays a mummy and doesn't turn into Boris Karloff in a fez.
Yes, gosh. That was not great.
Yeah.
But I think that I kind of my curiosity is piqued about those 1940s mummies movies, but then when I think about that, I feel like there's like a bunch of classic vampire and werewolf movies I haven't watched, and I like those monsters better than mummies.
Than the Mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because I'm like, it's a tier list. It's just like vampires at the top, werewolves next, a close second. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
And then like way further down, mummies, and probably adjacent to Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely like
Frankenstein. I should have said is above those. It's my third place.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I have a similar ranking. Mummy as like one of the big monsters is the least interesting one.
Yeah, it's number 5 of 5
as an idea. It's just because a mummy is just sort of like a zombie in bandages.
Yeah, it's like a super zombie. It's not as cool as a vampire.
They do have more powers than a zombie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we're actually ranking mummies. I like the mummy from the Tom Cruise movie quite a bit.
Absolutely. That's
Sophia Boutella mummy. She's badass. She's like a full-on D&D mummy lord.
Yeah, she's like a wizard and like a physical badass. Yeah, that mummy
of scarabs and mind controls people.
Absolutely. That mummy is badass.
Yeah.
That movie was so close to being good.
Yeah, it really was. You should go back and listen to that episode, Cultists, because we give it a fair shake and celebrate the things that were good about it. But it was a big mess. Tom Cruise all over it.
Yeah.
And, probably stole defeat from the jaws of victory with that movie.
Yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, I like mummies. I like mummy movies. But this one, it defied my expectations. I thought I knew what it was going to be about. I thought it was going to be a remake. Absolutely wasn't, but that's okay.
Yeah, there was a few times I would say, because I had not seen it either. I've just seen some still shots of it. And of course the iconic poster with the mummy with the light coming through his midsection because he's got a hole in him.
Yeah.
I've seen that poster probably much more than anything else.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah. Which the poster was done before the movie was even written and inspires a scene in the movie that was not in the screenplay. So
yeah.
we'll talk about that when we get to that part. But yeah, the movie, there was a few times where I was like, oh, I didn't expect this to happen, throughout. And so that was a pleasant surprise. It's always nice to be surprised with one of these old movies.
Yeah, and Christopher Lee famously said this was his favorite of the Hammer movies.
Yes, I was listening to the score, and he does the introduction at the beginning of the score, and he says that this movie has it's one of the very best British films of its kind. That's the qualifier that he gives it.
Okay.
And it has the best score of any of the Hammer films. And he's saying that's saying a lot because those movies had a lot of wonderful scores.
Okay.
But he's very, very proud of this one for whatever reason. Probably because he didn't get tied to the Mummy in the same way he did Dracula. I think he sort of resents Dracula after a while, but the Mummy was a one-off for him.
Yeah, I mean, didn't get tied too much. He became Sauron.
Yeah, that's true. And Count Dooku and a bunch of other things. All right, why don't we roll the music and we'll get into this dissection. When the tomb of an Egyptian princess is desecrated by English archaeologists, a devotee of her cult brings an ancient mummy to England to get revenge.
Yes, it's a very simple revenge. I'm mad as hell, so I'm bringing a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah. Those who rob the treasures of Egypt will die. I probably messed up that quote, but that's what Mohammed Bey tells the archaeologists. And then he delivers. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a proto-slasher movie.
Yeah.
The Mummy, there's a lot of Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers DNA in the Christopher Lee version of The Mummy. He's kind of a Terminator. He's kind of an unstoppable force. You shoot him, stab him, he just keeps killing.
Yeah, I was definitely getting the Jason Voorhees vibes here. Mm-hmm. He's not he's strong, but he's not Superman strong. Yeah. He's not fast at all. No. He's slow. But he is unstoppable.
Yeah.
He just keeps coming. He's just this implacable machine.
Yeah, and with just Christopher Lee's piercing eyes staring at you. And he's very intimidating. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And he's got such presence, and he just seems like a force of nature in this movie.
Yeah, he definitely was doing a good job with the physicality. He walked in a very heavy way, not quite a Frankenstein walk.
No,
but he had gravity with him. He was moving the earth as he kind of would stalk forward.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah. So coming back again, same as Dracula and Frankenstein, we've got director Terrence Fisher with a screenplay by Jimmy Sangster. I started calling them the Dream Team on our Curse of Frankenstein episode. Mm-hmm. They really are. These guys are just cranking these movies out, and they're a well-oiled machine at this point. They've done two Frankenstein movies and one Dracula, and I think Hound of the Baskervilles also with Lee and Cushing in that as well. So this team of people are just making period movie after period movie right now.
Yeah, I think that this is this is a really good team, and you could tell this Curse of Frankenstein. This really just felt like the same sets almost.
Not even almost. I think it is literally the same sets. I think the pub in this movie is where Van Helsing stops.
Okay.
Or is it Yeah, he's Van Helsing. Yeah, it's where Van Helsing stops on his way to Castle Dracula in Horror of Dracula. And I think that pub also shows up in Curse of Frankenstein. And the same thing with the study, where we have a couple of the big like fight scenes where the mummy bursts in through the doors. That's the same study where Baron Frankenstein got that old man drunk before he pushed him off the stairs.
Yes.
It's just like the same, because it's all at Bray Studios, which is like a British manor house that they've converted. And so they're just using these same rooms over and over again, just redressing them slightly.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the same places, and I'm glad to know that they are, because then I'm not hallucinating. This movie really was just it was written so straightforward. Like, I almost felt like this was like, I'm not gonna say it was plotless, but there was no twists really. This is straightforward.
Yeah.
This is just a revenge. Gonna kill some dudes. It's gonna be supernatural. Get ready.
They get told before you go into that tomb, if you go in there and disturb that tomb, you'll die. And they're like, psh, poppycock. And
we have all the paperwork.
Yeah. And so they go in there, and he's like, I warned them. So and they try to seal it up behind them, but Muhammad is patient. He'll dig out his mummy, his weapon of revenge, and ship it all the way to England to get his revenge. And then just one by one, slasher movie style, the mummy picks off the people involved in the expedition. Yeah,
this is a movie that is basically just play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah,
that's the plot.
Yeah, and they do even more so than the 32 Mummy. Kind of directly address the sort of English colonial mindset and what gives you the right to take these things. And Peter Cushing is very blasé about it. His character is just sort of like, it's my job. I don't know what else would I be doing but going and raiding tombs. This is just what we do. I don't think about it. And I mean, it doesn't have a pro-colonial stance, I don't feel like. I think it is sort of like saying, probably you should leave this stuff where it is.
Yeah, I don't think they were saying that for the reasons that we would today.
Yeah.
That it's the right thing to do and that it belongs to those people. I think they were kind of saying it because there's a curse involved.
Because there's a curse. It's like, it is both morally right and for your own safety that you leave these things behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think in 1959, they're just starting to really think about this, like, and examine, should we have done all these things? Oh, well, we did.
Yeah, oopsie.
And it's gone further, the examination. But still, like you said last episode, the British Museum is still loaded with these artifacts.
Oh yeah, so crazy.
Yeah.
So one thing that I thought was funny about the writing of this movie is Nina Wilcox Putnam, the co-writer of the original 32 Mummy. Ooh, she big mad.
Yeah.
She hated this. She was highly critical. And the quote I got here is, "This disgusting English remake was done without my knowledge or consent, and it has been a terrible shock at the age of 75.
Yeah, because she gets a story by credit or something like that, because they're drawing from her Cagliostro script from the 30s.
Yeah.
She took a big old dump on this. And I can see that. I could see her watching this movie and think, this is nothing like what I wrote.
I mean, they used the guy, right? Yeah. They used one character name, and then they also used the magical scroll.
The scroll.
That's kind of
the big carryover.
Yeah. If the magic scroll had been eliminated, they could have just cut her
credit. Yeah, probably. Yes, the scroll is the big thing. That scroll of life. I thought what you were going to mention is that Karnak is not an Egyptian god.
Oh yeah,
Karnak is a city.
Yeah, I started Googling that. I was like, hold on, I'm not even going to imply that I am an Egyptian mythology guru or expert, but I've read a book or two on mythology of the world, and I would say passingly familiar. I do not know this obscure god. I better Google them.
Yeah.
That's not a god. That's a place.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. So that's I think old Jimmy Sangster did I looked at the Wikipedia version of his research.
Yeah.
And was like, there's a temple of Karnak. Obviously, Karnak is a god, whereas opposed to the temple of Karnak is a temple that was in Karnak.
Yeah.
So
it's like the Church of Seattle. Oh, there's a god named Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. That is about as far as he went into it. Yeah. Because and also, what creature does Karnak's head look like? I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. A
weasel.
It was I couldn't tell. It was some sort of weird beast. I was thinking it might have been, it almost was cat-like, but it wasn't. Yeah. It kind of was dog-like, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that's why I went
maybe
weasel.
A jackal. I don't know.
Anubis is the jackal.
Yeah,
so and he has a very
distinctive.
When you see the priest in the Anubis headdress, you know who that is.
Yeah,
like the big canon Egyptian gods, like you recognize them right away.
Falcon.
Yeah,
etc.
But Karnak, you're like, I don't know what he is. It's not. He's got kind of a long snout, but with like a cute little nose at the end of it.
Yeah, Nickelodeon made a documentary about this guy, Cat Dog.
Yeah, he's a very obscure god. Like Peter Cushing says, it's just a minor deity. His cult never amounted to much.
Imagine in 1,000 years there's a cult of Cat Dog. Yeah,
plausible.
I don't know. Yeah, the Karnak thing really kind of threw me, and it felt lazy. But they didn't have Google.
They didn't have Google,
so everyone watching the movie had to just be like, "Oh yeah, Karnak, okay."
Yeah, and it's and I think for the most part, there's a lot of things when you look at it. The fact that the tomb has like clearly wooden doors, feels very weird. You imagine like. It's got to be big stone slabs or something like that on a real tomb. It wouldn't be wooden doors with like twine still intact, tying them shut. Like all that stuff seems a little, a little suspect,
a little hokey.
But it's still very elaborate, especially in the flashback scenes. They go really hard as far as like depicting ancient Egypt.
Yeah, they go hard in the flashback scenes, and they did in the 32 Mummy as well. Like, and I like that actually. I mean, I thought the flashback scenes were pretty cool. I liked them.
So I have this in under my themes, and I don't know if that's the right place to put it. But is this the first movie we've seen with the T2 ending, where our monster sinks down below with just one hand sticking up?
Oh man, I don't know, but that's a good one.
Because I'm kind of, as his hand is up
I
there
wanted him to give the thumbs up.
I just wanted him to turn the hand into a thumbs up, and I was like, "This is the T2 ending." Like, but he never does it, obviously, because he's not in a positive mindset.
Yeah, I was thinking, you don't want the scroll to get wet. Hold it up.
Yeah, I get I know they made a bunch more of these, so that obviously there was some way to resurrect this mummy without the scroll. But he's trying to keep the scroll dry the whole time. Yeah, it's pretty funny. And I feel like maybe did Son of Frankenstein have a T2 ending? Did he stick his arm out?
I don't.
He sinks into the sulfur pit, and
I think maybe he might have had a grasping arm out.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
I think this is becoming a trope already, but I'm not 100% sure if this is the first T2 ending, but it's getting more and more close to the James Cameron version of this.
Well, I'm behind it. I like that.
I like that.
It's good. You want to move on to visuals?
Let's do that.
This movie has a lot to say visually.
Yeah. So once again, cinematography by Jack Asher, production design by Bernard Robinson, makeup by Roy Ashton. This is someone new. This is not who did our I think we didn't quite love the makeup for Curse of Frankenstein.
Yeah, no, that wasn't very good.
Yeah, I'm forgetting that chap's name, but this is the new dog doing the makeup on this. Costume design by Molly Arbuthnot and special effects by Bill Warrington.
Okay.
Most of these people are returning. The only new person is Roy Ashton on makeup.
It's an upgrade over that Frankenstein.
Yeah, the Mummy makeup is good, and like even better than the Mummy makeup is the Egyptian makeup.
Yeah.
Like the stuff when the princess is in her inner sarcophagus and she has her face all painted gold.
Yeah,
and everything.
I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I was like, dang, they really did it up.
Yeah.
Like, that's very cool.
We're also getting a little more risque. There's nipples in this, like a lot of like temple maidens in sheer gowns that you can see nipples through. And the princess, when they're mummifying her, there's a carefully placed pole.
Yeah.
But she's naked on the table.
Yeah, you can't see anything, but it's all implied.
It's all implied, and Hammer is just going to continue pushing that bar as we go into the 60s.
Yeah, this movie looked really good. I was impressed by the makeup, and I thought that the Mummy looked great, honestly. It didn't look as good as Imhotep in the coffin.
In the full Jectors, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I mean, I understand it would have been hard to do that and make him like mobile. He was like a statue at that point.
Yeah.
But this was really good.
This is a walking mummy.
Yeah.
And he needs to
fight.
He needs to walk around. He needs to smash through double doors and, get shotgun blasted. And he looks like when he comes out of the swamp, when Mohammed Bey first calls him up after the
I keep wanting to call him Ardeth Bey.
Yeah, it is. That for whatever reason that rolls off the tongue a little bit more.
Yeah.
After he got dumped by the drunk carriage driver into the swamp and he resurrects him, he covered in the swamp muck.
Yeah,
is proper scary looking. Like,
yeah, it's
very,
gnarly,
very creepy mummy, and you just see that's the only time you see his teeth is in when he comes up out of the muck. He's got like his lower teeth exposed.
Yeah,
and yeah, he looks yucky. Like that's a nasty mummy coming out of that swamp.
Yeah, I don't know what made him think we should do swamp mummy rather than like deserty, dry, flaky mummy.
Yeah.
But swamp mummy is pretty gnarly.
It is. It really is. And it it's no small thing to build an indoor swamp. Like that's quite an undertaking to do. And that is a very cool swamp set that they built.
They should have just gone out to a swamp.
Yeah. Well, you can't control everything
yeah, that's true,
in
that's
a real
true.
swamp. That's how you get dysentery or something. But yeah, so we talked. This one is in Technicolor. The colors are very sumptuous. The costumes all pop, like you said, and it just has that Hammer look. Like this movie looks like what you picture when you're thinking of a Hammer horror film.
Man, there were some moments where the Technicolor just was too electric.
Oh, you think so?
It was just like, wow. Like, what's his name when he was wearing that red fez hat?
Oh, yeah.
That was like the brightest thing ever. No red is that bright. That was neon red.
Yeah.
It was like insane.
But I guess the fez is part of the iconography.
No, I'm not against the fez, but the color. Holy smokes,
was just too much. Yeah, Hammer is known for their very sort of lurid reds, and yeah, it jumps off the screen at you. It's really like there's nothing subtle about a Hammer film. You know what I mean?
They're called Hammer.
Yeah, that's perfect. Their name is the style because they hammer you over the head with it. They just really drive it home.
Yeah, I think that it was the photography was really good. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed. They were able to create like tomb-like scenes. The flashback scenes felt like flashbacks, like through the movie magic or filters or fuzzy edges or whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
It all felt really well done. Like, I think the cinematography and the photography were all like extremely skilled.
Yeah. It's weird. There's certain things that will stick out to you in a movie that's not concerned with historical accuracy at all. And you just like rock with it for most of the part, and then there'll be something that sticks out to you.
Yeah.
And when they're taking the princess to her resting place, her cart is pulled by 2 Hereford bulls. And I was just like, I don't think so. I feel like water buffalo.
Yeah, where's a water buffalo or some sort of ox?
Yeah, an oryx or something. Like, where would they get her? I don't think that even existed in that time period. That kind of cattle. But beautiful bulls, like a couple of very impressive beasts pulling the cart. But I was just like, that's very modern England, not Egypt.
Absolutely. I'm not sure what else to say about the way this thing looked. I mean, the costume was great. I liked it. It looked the same scene to scene. Yeah. And I guess it was a zip-in model. It was like a jumpsuit. And I think some scenes it's more clear than others. It's not bandages. It's like a whole onesie that he's in. Oh yeah, it looks like a supervillain costume. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's got like gauze wrapped around him. It looks like he's in a costume. Yeah, it's interesting, but it is effective, and it is like like the Michael Myers coveralls. Yeah, it has that sort of. It makes him into the shape, right? Like, he is the shape of this era. And we'll talk about costumes just real quick. Peter Cushing, impeccable in everything. He always looks really good. Just like, I'm always like, this guy is just immaculately dressed always in everything you see him in. And just like, he's got that cool sort of overcoat cloak thing with the mantle, like a duster sort of mantle, but his suit jacket sleeves are sticking out through it, so it's almost like a vest trench coat thing. Yeah, that is interesting. It was very cool. Like, I just like, that's a man that knows how to wear a suit. He always looks really good in these movies. Yeah, I think Peter Cushing is just, I think he could probably wear like farmer's overalls and look really stylish. Look dashing. Yeah. He's just, him and Christopher Lee both are so poised. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what else. They're like proper English gentlemen. I don't know how else to describe it. Shall we talk about the audio? Yeah, let's get to it. Sound editor is Roy Hyde, and the music is composed by Franz Reisenstein. And like we mentioned earlier, it's Christopher Lee's favorite score of any Hammer film. Yeah, when I was watching this, the music didn't stick out to me. Yeah. I didn't really notice it in many areas, and I actually think that's a good thing, because a lot of times when I'm watching these old ass movies, like stuff from pre-1970 basically, the music will just cut, and it's like don't hit me over the head with this is a spooky moment. Oh, right. Don't hit me over the head with you should be afraid or this is happy. No. Just set the tone. Yeah. Just be moody. You call it Mickey Mousing the score when the beats of the score are tied to the movements of the screen. Yeah. And you're right. This does not Mickey Mouse it at all. And it is like a full-length score. It's 28 tracks with Christopher Lee's introduction, and every scene there's repeating motifs, but every scene in the movie has a unique piece of music to accompany it. But you're right; it's not intrusive. It's just sort of moody and evocative, and it is in the background. It's not in the foreground of the movie. So it's effective, if not overly memorable in that way. You're not humming it when you leave. Yeah, no, was very good background music. That's really what it was. I mean, maybe it stood out against the other Hammer movie music, but as music on its own, nah, it's just all right.
Yeah, I had it on today, like just I put it on repeat and just kind of let it play. But it is not sticking with me. Like it does not have doesn't have anything in it that I'm humming. You know, like if you played it for me in like a month, maybe I could tell you it was The Mummy. You know what I mean? Like it just has that sort of.
It's not like Lord of the Rings or Conan or any of those scores that you just know,
and you're just can't get them out of your head after you hear it. This is very effective in its place in the movie, but it's not sticking with me.
Yeah, it was decent at what it was supposed to do. It was not a standout moment. Yeah, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah. And we've just listened to more music than Sir Christopher Lee has over
the years. Yeah, I mean,
we're further in the future than him and have heard cooler things.
Yeah.
And then as far as the sound editing by Roy Hyde, it sounds good. The 32 Mummy sounded so bad that this seems remarkably good.
I mean, the production value on every aspect of this movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Including the sound, visuals, everything.
Yeah, and it's just, they know what they're doing. They know how to make these monster movies at this point.
Yeah, they've made a few. It's good to go.
Yeah. Should we get into the casting?
Yeah.
Okay. First up, Peter Cushing as John Banning.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say that we haven't already said? This guy knows how to chew a scene. He steals a spotlight whenever he's on stage. He's awesome.
So Peter Cushing, because we'll certainly watch more movies with him in them. Something he likes props to work with something to hold in his hands when he's doing scenes.
Yeah.
And so I've started really paying attention to like what he has. And John Banning is a smoker, and he's a theatrical smoker. He makes a big to-do of lighting his cigarettes, and then he also carries around his ashtray with him as he walks around orating in his study. And I'm just like, it's all so considered, and like each character, you know, when we see Peter Cushing, Baron Frankenstein, John Banning, and Abraham Van Helsing are not remotely the same guy. Like, they all have different mannerisms. John Banning has this limp from his leg that he didn't get set properly when he broke it out tomb raiding, and so he's got a limp, but he's also an adventurer. You know what I mean? Like he's got a big gun cabinet and weapons on the walls and stuff. He just makes him there's not much on the page about John Banning, but Peter Cushing makes him into a whole guy.
Yeah, this physical acting element is so powerful. I mean, Christopher Lee is really good at doing that with characters too, but I think Peter Cushing really made John Banning into a way more three-dimensional character just by being him.
Yeah, and I mentioned this earlier, the scene where he jumps up to pull the spear off the wall and stab the mummy through the midsection while they're like having a close-up physical fight. That was Peter Cushing's idea, because the poster had this hole through the middle of the mummy, and he's like, we need to explain why that hole is there. So what if I run him through with this spear that's up on the wall? And it's so like he has to like jump over the desk, climb up the bookcase, grab the spear, come down and stab the mummy. Like he needs to do all that in the time it takes the mummy to clear the room to get to him.
Yeah.
And it's like it's hard mode. It's more work to put on yourself. I think my character would do this, you know. But Peter Cushing, that's what he does, and that's what makes these movies so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it was really well done. I think that his performance really elevated the movie, because I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're a monster. So someone had to carry the weight.
Yeah. So speaking of the monster, we've got Christopher Lee as Karis, the mummy. And I also want to tag in Eddie Powell, who is from this movie forward Christopher Lee's stunt double.
Nice.
And this is someone, I believe it was Terrence Fisher, saw him like just sort of out and about, and he's a stuntman, and thought, is that Christopher Lee over there? And then no, it's not. It is just his doppelganger.
It's just a big guy.
Yeah, it's a guy that has his height and build and hawk-like features, and from this point on, Eddie Powell does a lot of the undesirable parts of these movies.
Yeah.
So it's Eddie Powell getting shot with a shotgun. It's Eddie Powell trudging through the swamp and things like that. So he takes on the stuff that Christopher Lee doesn't want to do.
Yeah, but there was a certain amount. I was reading about a lot of the physicality that Christopher Lee did that led to his injuries and things.
Yeah, because he hurt his shoulder bashing through those doors.
That somebody accidentally bolted closed when he was supposed to go through it. And then there was a scene where he was actually getting shot. And the squibs that they used evidently left burn marks on him, and he had those for weeks.
Yeah, and I heard that he hurt himself in the swamp scenes too.
Yeah,
like
carrying
scraped his leg pretty bad.
And he threw out his back carrying the actress.
Oh, really?
And so part of his kind of like weird walk near the end of the movie was because he was legitimately injured, like in his shoulder, his back.
That could be what led to Eddie Powell getting tagged in
to do all this
to
stuff.
Do some of this stuff, because
our dude is hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt himself a couple of times now. Yeah. I also heard that he because Karis has never seen a door that you open the proper way. He always crashes through Kool-Aid Man style.
It's like playing Baldur's Gate 3 when you have a monk.
Yeah.
You don't open locks. You smash doors.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah.
It's open.
Shattering blow.
Exactly.
Yeah, he just crashes through the doors every time, and it's always awesome every time he does it. So both Christopher Lee and Eddie Powell are very good. The flashback scenes with Christopher Lee in the full Egyptian garb and the cool eyeliner, they really pop too. And he doesn't have much to work with because he never opens his mouth. Karis has his tongue cut out, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't even make like a mummy moan sound.
Even less to work with than Frankenstein.
Yes, even less to work with than Frankenstein. But he sells you so much with his eyes, because his eyes are very clear. Anytime you see him, even when he's covered in muck, his eyes are shining out at you. And like the mummy is like, he's Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers up until he sees Isabel, who it looks like his Princess Ananka, played by Yvonne Furneaux, and like his sort of like longing and sadness and all of that comes through in just Christopher Lee's eyes.
Yeah, and his posture and his whole physicality changes. He does a really good job of that.
Yeah.
But those eyes, when he's like angry and stuff, I was just thinking like, that's Dracula behind that mask.
Yes, it is.
That is Dracula.
That is the Dracula eyes.
Yeah.
They're so intense. And like the other thing is when who's George Pastel as Mohammed Bey, when he's ordering Karis around because he's like, get back in your box, like, and he's just like he treats him like a thing and not an actualized person who lived a life and has been tormented for
his
thousands
ancestor.
of years. Yeah, he just treats him like an object, and the contempt that Christopher Lee shows for Mohammed Bey is so strong too. Like when he's like, and when this is all done, we'll just put you back in your box and stick you in the ground. And he just like looks at him with such utter hatred, and he can't do anything but what this guy tells him to do because he has the magic scroll.
Dang scroll.
Yeah. It's very important. These scrolls. That's another thing the scroll is another thing that's stretches credulity.
Yeah.
Because that looks like a fresh piece of paper.
Absolutely.
It does not look like an ancient
They didn't like take a lighter and burn the edges. They didn't put coffee on it to make it look old.
If this thing was what we are led to believe it is, like that age, it would be so brittle and so like you couldn't just unroll it in a nasty swamp and be reading off of it. It would be falling apart in your hands. But it just looks crisp, and I guess it's magic. It's a magic scroll, D&D style.
Oh yeah. It is. So that actually means it's okay to sink into the swamp.
Oh, because it'll just stay. It's because the magic item.
Yeah, it can't be destroyed by water.
Well, spoiler alert for the next few Mummy movies. I'm sure they just get the scroll out.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine.
Someone fishes it out with a stick.
Yeah. Do we want to dig in any more on any of these people that I just mentioned? Like Yvonne Furneaux or George Pastel? George Pastel, plausibly Egyptian, but he's Cypriot background.
Oh, okay.
He's Greek. But I feel like, maybe I'll get attacked on the internet for this. I feel like close enough with a Greek person and an Egyptian person. There's an awful lot of cross-pollination between those two cultures.
Oh, I mean, I was just about to say, spoiler alert, Cleopatra was Macedonian.
Yeah.
Like Greeks, they're all on the east side of the Mediterranean. There's boats across, and you can kind of walk around the edge. Yeah. There's definitely cross, and there's definitely cultural exchange on a massive level.
Yeah.
So it is not, even though the guy is, he's Cypriot, there is no reason a guy of that ancestry could not have been born and grown up in Egypt.
Yes, that's totally plausible.
Yeah,
that was my thought on that, and I think he looks the part. You put that guy,
he looks great.
Give him a mustache and a fez, and you totally believe this guy is from Egypt.
You could even do that in 2026, and I don't think anyone would get overly mad about it.
Yeah,
he's fine.
Yeah, I think that one is justified. Christopher Lee, not as much.
No, that dude is not Egyptian. He is white. Yvonne Furneaux, no, not Egyptian princess. No. Not even Greek.
So another character actor in here that I just wanted to highlight is Eddie Byrne as Inspector Mulroney. Mm-hmm. Inspector Mulroney was like my surprise favorite character. He shows up, and I like him as the sort of no-nonsense police inspector. He doesn't want to hear about your magical theories. He just wants evidence. And then he goes out, and all of the evidence leads him back to it's a mummy. and he's just like, comes back, and he's like, I hate to say it, but it seems like you're right. It seems like it's an ancient mummy that's killing everyone. Doesn't make any sense to me, but until I have a better theory, we're going to operate on it probably is a mummy.
doesn't Mulrooney like just sound like something you order at a bakery counter? I'll have 3 Mulroonies. I'll have 4 croissants.
Cream-filled Mulrooney, or do you like fruit flavor?
With chocolate on top.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, man. I just want to go to the patisserie and get a box of Mulroonies.
Get some Mulroonies, exactly.
Yeah, and so that was a character I was not expecting, and I really enjoyed him, and he brought some momentum into the story and direction to it.
Yeah, he was fun. He was a character that he upped the pace and the tension of the story, which was dramatic. It was needed.
Yeah, it needed someone to be a person of action.
Yeah.
Instead of reaction. Like, he's out there actively doing things.
Yep, he's getting the work done.
Yeah, and who else? Felix Aylmer? Yeah, Felix Aylmer as Stephen Banning. Who is John's father. When we first see him, I don't believe he's old enough to be middle-aged Peter Cushing's father. But when we come back to him after he's been convalescing in the asylum for several years, he's aged a lot. Like, they do a really good job of showing the toll this time has taken on him. And he's in his few scenes, he's a very interesting character, I thought.
Yeah, I think so. He's one of those older guys who's good at, I don't know, adding some gravitas when he's on the screen.
There's a scene with him and Peter Cushing when he's been in like a, what do you call it? Not a vegetative state, but a persistent semi-consciousness.
Okay.
Where he can respond. He's responsive and he can follow instructions, but he's not really self-aware. And he's come out of it, and so he calls his son to come see him. And Peter Cushing has this limp from the leg that didn't get set while they were out on their expedition to Egypt. And
just trash talk.
Yeah, and his dad had been sort of like really eager for him, even though he should have been going to the doctor, to stay on the expedition. And he says, he's like, "What's wrong with your leg?" And he says, "Oh, I broke it and it didn't set properly." And he goes, "Well, you should have had a doctor look at that," or whatever. And Peter Cushing just like flawless sort of like, "I'm not going to have this fight with you, old man," reaction. And like the interaction between the two of them is just so good.
Yeah, for sure. I think that character was really well realized.
Yeah. Anyone else we want to talk about?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay. We can skip over our like the comic relief poacher.
Yeah, Michael Ripper. Yeah. I mean, come on, that's good.
It was fun. There's some fun drunken townies in this movie, but yeah. Why don't we move on to the wrap up? What's your personal highlight?
I think it has to be Karras's attack on John Banning's study. I mean, come on, that's the money shot scene.
It is.
We get Christopher Lee, we get Peter Cushing. He busts in there. He's got a shotgun. It takes chunks out of his chest. I mean, he grabs a spear, runs him through. Of course, you can't kill the Terminator like that. It's not how it works.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, the reincarnated princess comes in.
Yes.
And sees the savage beast. But that fight, that's probably the best scene. What about you? What's your personal highlight?
Yeah, same. That is
kind of the scene.
That is what I put also. That's the scene that sticks with me. Their fight is so good. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's so physical and like...
You forget that Christopher Lee, because he's such a skilled actor, you forget he's also kind of a beast.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah.
And he's so imposing and... Peter Cushing is like so nimble.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because we've watched him sort of limping around the place, but like when a mummy's on his ass, he'll jump over the desk.
Oh yeah, you got adrenaline.
Yeah, he starts running all over, and they have a proper fight, and then like you said, Isabel comes in and takes all the fight out of the mummy. He's like, I've just got to go. I'm having all sorts of feelings. I gotta get out.
I'm out, y'all.
He was like, oh wow, I don't know what to do about this. Good thing I don't have to explain myself because I don't have a tongue. I'll just go home and Mamet will assume I did my job.
Yes.
Okay, so since you picked that one, I'll go runner up when Mamet Bey summons the mummy out of the swamp. It's also really good.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
Yeah, because he chants the incantation first in like gibberish Egyptian, and then moves over into English so that we can understand. And
that's
then the
Egybberish, something like that.
Yeah, and then the mummy comes out just like a muck monster, and he looks very creepy.
See, my runner-up would have been the flashback when they're mummifying the princess and all that.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's just the flashback scene is pretty legit.
And shouts to Karras for taking his punishment like a boss. Like he doesn't fight them; he's just like, joke's on you. I wanted to be with her for all eternity anyway.
They just lock him in there. He's like, all right.
Right where I wanted to be. I don't even care you're mummifying me alive.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
Yeah. What worked for you?
I mean, the movie looked excellent. The photography, the color. Once you realize that this is like extremely stylized coloration. It's really good. I think that Christopher Lee's performance really gives this movie its soul. Like his eyes, his body language when he's interacting with Mehmet Bey and when he's dealing with the princess and all this stuff. Like his performance, in my opinion, makes this movie pretty elevated. That's not to say that Peter Cushing wasn't also excellent, because he was.
Yeah.
But I think he had a lot easier order.
Yes. For sure.
Like, it's like, oh, what we need you to do is to play an English gentleman who does like cool things. Oh, easy.
Wear cool suits and limp around, and the rest is up to you.
Yeah, I think that Christopher Lee, that was really, really tough. And so I think that was huge. And then lastly, I thought that this was a really good it was an original take. I thought that was cool. Like a swamp mummy. Like I never would have thought, like the Mummy in England. Like, because I brought nothing to this. Like I came in as a blank slate.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is like American Werewolf in London. This is like Egyptian Mummy in England.
Yeah.
Like it was cool. It was, and just the overall concept I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. And while you're talking about that, you can see how other things borrow from this, like because the stuff where the carriage is transporting the mummy, and the two yahoos are drunk driving the carriage. Yeah, we saw that in Salem's Lot, right?
Absolutely.
We've got I forget the characters' names in Salem's Lot, but you have your guy, your Mohammed Bey character, and he's bringing these relics over. And then having these two guys transport it. They just wholesale lifted that for Salem.
Yeah, I think Salem's Lot owes a lot to this version of the Mummy, for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it to me. So yeah.
What about you? What worked for you?
What worked for me, normally I like to have like more bullet points than this, but I'm just making it all into one big lump, and that is what I'm calling the dream team of director Fisher, writer Sangster, stars Cushing and Lee, and cinematographer John Asher, and then the grab bag of all the other department heads that work on all of these movies. I'm digging this more and more. Like I can't wait to get into more of these Hammer movies, because I'm just sort of into the vibe that they're putting down, and I think everyone is. They're not feeling it out anymore. Curse of Frankenstein, they're kind of figuring out how to do this stuff. Now they're a well-oiled gothic horror machine, and they know how to make these movies. And everyone is working so well in tandem with each other. They all play off each other and elevate each other, I think. Yeah. And so, yeah, I like who all is involved in this. And as you said, I think Christopher Lee does a remarkable job emoting through a full face of makeup and a bandage onesie, and giving the mummy some pathos and making him you feel some sort of empathy for him in the later scenes of the movie after he's seen Isabel. He goes from being like the Terminator from the first Terminator, and starts kind of transitioning into the T2 Terminator that knows why you cry, but it's something he can never do. Like he starts to make that transition once Isabel comes in, and Christopher Lee just kills it. 3 out of 3. He's done 3 big monsters. Yeah. Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, and now the Mummy. And he's acquitted himself admirably on all 3 of them. What didn't work for you?
All right. So this movie didn't have a plot. Okay. I have literally read Dungeons and Dragons modules that are more complex than this from first edition.
Right.
Like
it is a D&D mission.
Yeah, this is really simple. And sometimes simple isn't bad because you can say like, oh, the plot of Fellowship of the Rings is you go from here to there. Yeah. But whatever. This was so simple. There was almost nothing to grab onto aside from just the characters themselves.
Right.
I also have to call out the absolutely like inappropriate in the modern day Eurocentric views. Like when even Mehmet Bey is saying like Egypt is a violent place where killings are normal, but England is peaceful and serene. It's like, come on, bro.
In the 1800s, I think they got to be on a level with each other as far as violence.
So, I mean, that was even in the 1950s, that was pretty uncalled for.
Yeah.
And also, where the bitches at? There's no women in this movie. There's a lady. Yeah. She has like, I don't know, 10 lines, and she looks good painted gold. Yeah. Like this lady, one actress, and she barely has a part. It's such a bro fest. This is just a sausage festival.
Yeah. Every time she shows up, it is like, oh yeah, she should be there. Like she's not involved. She is entirely passive and not involved in the story at all.
And so, I mean, not to like, I don't know, get all like story craft about this. Almost any of these, except for probably the Mummy, roles could have been gender swapped, and it would have been totally fine.
Yeah,
they really should have done that for at least one role.
Yeah,
like I don't know who, but let's get a character with lines who has importance and have it played by a woman.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's really not. There's some good women actresses out there.
And even for a Hammer movie, it's remarkable in how little there is. Because normally there would be a barmaid.
Yeah, someone saying funny things or whatever.
Like a housekeeper. Like there would be several more supporting female characters in the movie, and there just isn't. There is
it's just Isabel. That's it.
Isabel all on her lonesome. I guess there's a bunch of shrine maidens that get massacred in the but none of them say anything. Like they're just there to look pretty and get killed.
Absolutely. So that's what didn't work for me. What about you? What didn't work?
Well, I'm going to have a hard time making what I have to say sound different than what you had to say, enough to justify saying anything. So, what I have here is the grab bag plot. They took this scene from this Mummy movie and this scene from this Mummy movie, and they Frankenstein together a plot of plot elements of 3 or 4 other movies. And they do not go together seamlessly. They are very like, there is the tomb raiding scene, and then there's the asylum scene. They all feel somewhat disconnected from each other, or like the joins are noticeable. And then when Isabel shows up and it kicks off the whole, I really felt like we were coming to the end of the movie when John and the Mummy have their fight. It felt like the climax was coming, and not a sort of to be continued. I was like, oh, this is almost over. And then Isabel comes in, and it introduces this sort of the reincarnation element that is in every Mummy movie. It feels completely out of left field. We have not really planted seeds for that. I did not notice it was played by the same actress because she's done up in such a different way, and she's dead for most of those flashback sequences. So I didn't notice it was the same woman. It feels like, oh, Mummy movies always have a reincarnated girl in them, and so we have to do that. And so it seems like it comes out of nowhere and then tacks 20 minutes onto the movie that felt like it was resolving.
Absolutely, yeah.
And because we have to play that out so we can get the moment with her and him in the swamp, which is another moment we're borrowing from another movie that we want to reference in this movie. And so you just have this sort of like, stitched together sausage movie of the greatest hits of the various Universal Mummy movies. And it all looks nice, and I had a lot of fun, but it just doesn't hang together in a satisfying way narratively.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what didn't work for me.
Absolutely.
So tough to come up with a rating. Where are you at?
Yeah, so this one's tough because it looks great and it's got some good, really good actors in it. Christopher Lee, famously my favorite actor. And I guess famously for me in my
on this podcast, he's famously your favorite actor.
David-centric universe, wherein I am the main character. Favorite actor. And he's great in this movie.
He is. He's really great.
So I want to rate it highly because my favorite guy is doing great. But it's not actually a very good movie because it's not that entertaining.
Yeah.
I felt phone reach. Like, I was like, oh, phone. No, don't phone. And so I'm giving it 3 stars.
Okay.
What about you?
I want to go higher. We're kind of in the same boat as last time, where I wanted to go for that 4, but I just can't get there. Like, it's just not. It has some 4-star moments in isolation. Like, you can watch kind of any 3 minutes of this movie and like, rules. I can't wait to watch this movie. Yeah. But then when you watch it all together, it's just not a satisfying narrative. It's more exciting and in some ways engaging than the 32 Mummy was. But it is not as well constructed as that movie. That movie had a better script to it, which I guess shout outs to the lady who wrote the original Cagliostro script, who didn't want her name anywhere on this. You can see why. She was a serious craftsperson writing, and Sangster just sort of stitched together the greatest hits of the Mummy here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm falling on a 3. I would kind of like to go 3.25, 3.5.
Yeah.
Like, just edge a little bit above a 3, but we don't do that. We get off the fence, and so I'll go with 3.
So the book, The Hammer Story by Marcus Hearn, he wrote this, and I think it works. Structurally little more than a string of picturesque and nicely lit killings. The Mummy's melancholic presentation and romantic undertow grants it a certain atmosphere which elevates this bandaged brute far beyond its cinematic predecessors. I agree.
Totally.
It's boring plot, but looks great.
Looks great, and I have fun. It's totally like, if you're doing this, it's worth watching.
Yeah, if you're, for some reason, like a Mummy... Are there people who are like super Mummy fans? Because I know there's like vampire people.
There's definitely people that are super Mummy fans, but they're mostly around the Brendan Fraser movie. That's the one that has the big cult following.
I've never seen that movie.
Maybe next year we'll have a reason to watch those movies.
Yeah, so I mean, it got 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.6 on IMDb, which is slightly above us, and 3.3 on Letterboxd, which is slightly above us. Because I also wanted to give it 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
Because it's just sort of one of those, it's like, this is not an automatic recommend, but it's also not bad.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
I think if you were listening to this, we've been talking kind of all positive about it until the end, and then you start picking it apart. And that's sort of how it feels watching it. Like, you have a good time, but you're like, it just doesn't quite hold together.
The thing is I guess it's sort of like when if you're creating a story and you have like a bunch of plot elements that you think are really cool, but the connecting tissue is just like really weak and boring.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, it's like you have to go through drudgery to get to the scene you want to get to. Yeah. That's sort of how I felt with this.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely felt like when the movie didn't end, when Isabel came in and the Mummy just sort of like stops his assault and leaves, I thought, oh, there's way more movie coming. And I felt like this was a fun little movie. Like I was very content with the idea that the movie was about to end.
This was not as good as Hammer Dracula.
No, we need to. Honestly, I need to rewatch that because I think
we did a whole episode on it.
Yeah, well, you know,
it was years ago.
It was years ago, and we did the sort of.
We did a head-to-head.
We did a head-to-head where we did the Universal Dracula and the Hammer Dracula in the same episode.
Yeah.
And now I would just do 2 episodes. I think it would work.
We've sort of changed formats.
Yeah, and I think that was, I mean, learning mistakes. That was a lot to do to cover 2 movies in one.
I am always down to watch a vampire movie.
Yeah.
And there are lots of vampire movies we haven't watched.
Well, I know. There's a new Dracula that just came out that we need to get on.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we play the music and we'll come back with our closing segment. Before we delve into the Vault of Darkness, we ask that all initiates of the cult follow us on your favorite social media platforms at Nightshade Cult.
If you've enjoyed this content, help us grow the cult by sharing it with like-minded people and subscribe, ring the bell, comment, all the things, because most of our listeners are on YouTube. And if you are one of the few that is not, just leave us a rating wherever you're at. Did you know you can go onto Audible, and we're on Audible? So if you are an Audible user, even if you don't listen to us there, you could just subscribe, rate and review on Audible, just as a service to us. As this is free.
Yeah,
hook us up.
May as well. You're paying for that Prime membership.
Yeah,
you get that.
You get this is just a free thing. Thank you.
And thank you to the cultists Cultist Lance and Cultist James, who comment basically on every single
episode. Yeah, that's awesome.
As soon as it's out and they've listened to it, Cultist Lance is out there on the East Coast, so he's 3 hours ahead. He's generally listened already before I get up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we very much appreciate the support. You guys have been with us since the very start, and we appreciate it.
Yes, and if something was wrong with the upload, Cultist Ted is always the one.
Yeah, just subtly. No new episode today.
Oopsie. Yeah, I was on vacation.
Yeah. So yes, keeping us honest. Cultist Ted is right
He's the guy.
Do you have any dark tidings?
No, I do not.
I've got one, and I mentioned this last episode, but since then we've gotten a date, and that is that Academy Award winners Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are officially returning for a 4th installment in their version of the Mummy franchise.
Okay.
And that got a release date of May 19th, 2028.
Oh, wow. That's pretty far out.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. It'll be in production probably late this year and into next year. And then, 2028, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time to make a good 4th Mummy movie. And besides, a new Mummy movie came out this month that you could watch in the meantime.
Absolutely.
There's and there's dozens of old ones.
Yeah, there's no never-ending Mummy.
Yeah, no shortage of Mummy content for you. But yeah, so it is directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who they've worked on the Ready or Not series and the Scream series. And they directed a vampire movie called Abigail that we're going to be discussing in 2-3 episodes from now.
All right.
So I'll have more to say about them as directors after we've watched Abigail, because I haven't actually seen it yet.
Yeah, me neither.
But they seem like a good pick for the tone and style of that version of the Mummy, where it's more of a supernatural adventure kind of Mummy movie. With horror elements. I think that seems like their wheelhouse. So probably good picks for that.
All right. You want to roll off for our vaults?
Yes.
All right. 15.
16. Just barely squeaked out ahead. Okay. So I'm pulling out of the vault. I really racked my brain. Like, what have I been into lately? And this is not genre content. It's just like a comedy for grown-ups that I've been watching, but I've binged 2.5 seasons of it just
Oh,
recently.
wow.
And that is Shrinking on Apple TV Plus.
I watched the whole series.
Oh, you've already watched it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that show.
Yes, we're kind of halfway through season 3 right now.
And episodes are they're coming out. They're current.
Like every Wednesday,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I was way behind the curve on this. But so if you don't know, it's a comedy series created by Bill Lawrence, Jason Segel, and Brett Goldstein of Ted Lasso fame. Mm-hmm. And it is about 3 therapists, or primarily one therapist played by Jason Segel, who he's had a family tragedy. His wife died in a drunk driving accident, and he's been spiraling for like the last year or two. And you kind of join him as he's pulling the pieces of his life back together, and sort of he has a support network around him that he's been pushing away, but he starts pulling these people back in.
Yeah.
And he starts doing unconventional therapy tactics to mixed results. But
Yes.
it kind of helps him find his groove again, and finding sort of a reason to go on and something to live for after spiraling for a long time since his wife died. And it's very much tonally in that sort of Ted Lasso vein of like very heartfelt and funny, with sort of dark underpinnings, but ultimately like positivity. Like it is the messaging of the show is very positive, and it is extremely funny, but emotionally resonant. Like it'll just punch you in the gut sometimes.
Absolutely. Harrison Ford is hilarious.
He never says a single thing that I don't say immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
I can't, you know, and
he's so good.
He grumbles all that stuff out. And yeah, Harrison Ford is so good in it. Jason Segel is so good. And Jessica Williams.
Yeah, she's really funny.
Who's the other therapist? She's hilarious. Minor character, but Ted McGinley from Married with Children is Derek, the neighbor and the husband to nosy neighbor wife Liz. And
dude, I love Derek.
I love Derek so much. I
want to be Derek's friend.
I've been like, right from the start, like Lisa's like, I don't understand this guy, and it's like, he's just waiting for his wife to figure shit out. He's about to retire, and his kids are all left. He did not expect that they were going to start surrogate parenting the neighbor girl, and he doesn't understand what his wife is going through, and he's just waiting. And this is all going to blow up at some point.
And he's almost coded at the beginning of the series, not to jump into your thing, but he's almost coded that you think he's going to be like a dick, because he's kind of like a handsome, older, middle-aged, seemingly wealthy-ish guy, and he, you kind of think, oh, this guy's going to be a dick.
Yeah. Well, he was the dick neighbor on Married with Children.
Yeah, but he's actually just like the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And he's very witty.
I would say he's someone doing the best without the best tools. Like, he's like, I know, like, it doesn't, his situation blows up, but not at all in the way I expected it to, where I thought at some point he's going to lose this shit and explode. And he absolutely never does. He stays true to Derek. Even when shit goes bad, he has a very Derek reaction to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this means nothing if you haven't watched it. But the characters are all so they're heightened but believable and lived in, sort of fully realized characters.
I think that the Ted Lasso, if you've watched that, every single character on Ted Lasso is extremely well written.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with Shrinking.
Yeah.
Even the side characters are so well written. You just want to know more. You would watch whole episodes devoted to that one side character, like gladly. And that's the show.
Yes. So Shrinking, and I know it's not horror or
No.
even adjacent. It was the horrors of Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, that's a real villain.
Yeah. son of a bitch. Fuck Parkinson's, as Michael J. Fox says.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's Teen Wolf. So there's
there we go. We got a werewolf
and
in
Harrison
here.
Ford is in Blade Runner. And so we're tying it in. It fits with the theme of this podcast.
Yeah, this is really just a werewolf cyberpunk reference.
Yes. All of this is prequel to those movies. Or post-Cultists. Yeah. This is the dark sequel to Teen Wolf when we see Teen Wolf with Parkinson's disease. Ugh. What about you? What are you pulling out of the vault?
I mean, this is a very unconventional vault because I've been super absolutely consumed by writing recently.
You're a writing machine.
It's all I want to do. Like when we're done with this, I'm gonna go write.
Nice.
So I've just been watching a bunch of shows because when I'm editing, when I'm drafting, I need to just have music on. Okay. Like no lyrics music. It has to just be instrumental music.
You should put on that score to The Mummy.
Oh, I should.
It won't get in the way.
Yeah. But when I'm editing, I like to have a TV show on because I'm back and forth. Anyway, so I had some friends who were like, I was like, man, I haven't even gone to Apple TV in a while. You should, I don't even know what's on there lately. And they're like, yeah, you should watch Shrinking. It's so good. I watched Shrinking, and I didn't even think to bring it up here because I liked it so much. I was like, man, Ted Lasso was so good. So I went back and I watched all 3 seasons of Ted Lasso again.
Nice.
Because here's the theme. I'm prepping for the 4th season.
Right.
I watched 3 seasons to prep for the 4th season. House of the Dragon on HBO, season 3 is coming soon. Okay. So I'm going back and I'm working through that to watch season 1 and 2. They've also greenlit the 4th season, which will be the final season. So it won't be a surprise cancellation. It'll be a full arc. So House of the Dragon, even if you're a little checked out, understand it will be a fully realized series. Okay. And so I went back, and these are rewatches, and I want to just recommend to everyone, just rewatch the things that you loved. There are things you're going to like. You'll have some new eyes for some of the plots. Like in Ted Lasso, there were a couple of plots where I was like, I don't know, that plot can go away. It's not as good as the other ones. But I didn't like the Nate the Great trader thing. I also didn't like the billionaire guy, African guy coming in trying to mess with whatever. Yeah. Those were just kind of whatever trifling plots. But overall, Ted Lasso still great. Go rewatch it. But I've been checking out something new. Yeah. Because on Apple TV there is a sci-fi series called Silo.
Okay, I've heard of this.
And Silo is a dystopian science fiction thing about a series about it's a trilogy of books about a massive underground silo. And I decided that I wanted to read the books before I watched the show. So rather than go and watch Silo on Apple TV, which I will soon do.
So you haven't watched it?
Not yet. I bought the first book in the Silo series called Wool, like from a sheep. And I'm about, 3/4 through it. It's really interesting. It tells a story in a way that I would not do. Because it's not extremely linear. It is linear, but it's also like switches from character to character and location to location. But it's all in a silo, and it is extremely interesting. Like, part of me, when I first started listening to this audiobook, I was like, I do not like that decision. The author should not have done that. Okay. And then I turned it off. And I just started working. And then
it's a strong reaction.
And then, yeah. And then, like, the next day I get up and I'm about to go to work and I listen and I turn it on and I listen to my commute. And my commute, I was like, I already bought this audiobook. I'm just going to listen more. And then I'm like, I'm back in. I'm in. And I'm still in. So that tells me that I reacted and I cared. I cared about the character who was lost. Spoilers. And so that matters, in my opinion. I was invested. I was literally invested in the first 20 minutes of listening. So that's pretty good for a 15-hour audiobook or whatever. So I highly recommend going back, watching the shit that you know that you like, and check out Wool on audiobook if you're interested, or if you like paper. Or if you don't like any of that, just watch Silo on Apple TV.
Okay. So officially, what's you're pulling out?
We're pulling out Wool.
We're pulling out Wool.
But
Okay.
the thing is before you even mention Shrinking, I already had Ted Lasso on my thing. It's written here.
Okay.
Also, House of the Dragon, because my theme is TV shows.
Gotcha.
And Wool is like tangentially TV show.
Yeah, it's TV related.
Yeah. And so I think that I'm going to watch Silo. Hopefully they don't change it too much because I'm enjoying it.
Because now you're invested.
Now I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got our beloved Rebecca Ferguson in.
Oh, yeah. She's great. We'd like to thank you for joining the Nightshade Cult.
Until we meet again, we're wishing you unpleasant dreams.